a service of CNC Worldwide.
CNC Podcasts are a service of CNC Worldwide, brought to you by the Greece Chamber of Commerce, providing more than 800 member companies with business solutions since 1984. A real blast of early winter is here Tuesday. We got just over 2 inches of snow Monday before it turned to rain, but the National Weather Service says that's nothing. They've got a lake effect snow advisory in effect for Tuesday till 7 p.m. They're expecting about 3 to 5 inches during the day, with 3 to 6 inches by the time the storm passes by on Tuesday night. Strong southwest winds will produce blowing and drifting snow and bad visibility at times. The Rochester Housing Authority says it will be after the first week of December before it gets the position of executive director posted. Officials say that's because they're working to redefine the director's job responsibilities and work out the process for hiring the right person. City Councilman Adam McFadden is on contract as interim director till mid-January. At a board meeting Monday, McFadden would not say if he would stay longer. Fire hit 2 Monroe County houses on Monday, one in Chili, one in Honeoye Falls. The fire at 50 Creekview Drive in Chili ended in tragedy as an elderly World War II veteran was trapped in the basement. Firefighters got him out but were unable to save his life. The victim, who was later identified as 88-year-old Richard Strassman, known as a friend of the Chili firefighters who battled to save him. Strassman's daughter and son-in-law had just moved into the house to look after him. They were remodeling. The son-in-law made it out with minor injuries. The house was heavily damaged. In Honeoye Falls, a 25-year-old woman and her 2-year-old son were saved when fire broke out in their home on Boughton Hill Road. Nicole Barber is 9 months pregnant. She and her son were taking a nap. They were wakened up by someone yelling if anyone was inside. A stranger had been driving by, saw flames coming from the house, and ran to alert those inside. Barber and her son got out safely thanks to their guardian angel's help. Firefighters believe flaws in the chimney caused the fire. The elderly woman struck by a car in Brighton on Sunday has died. Brighton police say 92-year-old Esther Rothberg was walking on Pelham Road when one of her neighbors hit her while backing his car out of the driveway. She was seriously injured and died Monday at Strong Memorial Hospital. The University of Rochester says Rothberg was a longtime chemistry professor, a pioneer in the semiconductor industry, and a winner of the National Medal of Technology for her work in computer design. The university calls it a tragic loss for the world of science. A man who helped arrange the shipment of marijuana from a Mexican drug cartel to dealers in Rochester and other cities has been sentenced to 2 years plus 3 months in prison. Federal prosecutors say Raul Eduardo Rivera de la Torre of Tucson, Arizona, was the translator who dealt between the Mexican suppliers and the drug ring. They shipped hundreds of pounds of marijuana through Tucson to Rochester, Cleveland, Philadelphia, and Port Chester, New York. The 911 Center employee has pleaded not guilty to a misdemeanor charge of forcible touching. The city of Rochester says 45-year-old Timothy Scott of Gates was charged back on November 4th, and the city is cooperating with Rochester police in the investigation. Scott is on suspension pending the outcome. Papers filed in court say Scott tried to grab a co-worker's breast and engaged in other unwanted conduct. City Hall says Scott went through anti-sexual harassment training like all city employees. He has worked for the city 7 years. The city of Rochester had 5 different proposed parade routes on display at City Hall Monday evening, with police and city planners on hand to answer public questions and comments. The traditional route down East Avenue, taken by the St. Patrick's Day, the Memorial Day, and the Labor Day parades, needs to change next year because of the Inner Loop reconstruction project. The city says it won't be practical to send the parades down East Avenue to Main Street during the construction. The city will take what it heard from the St. Patrick's Day Parade organization plus neighborhood and business groups at that meeting and work out its recommendation. The 2-year-long project to fill in the eastern end of Rochester's Inner Loop is officially underway, starting a 2-year project to transform downtown's East End at a cost of well over $20 million. Officials from the State Transportation Commissioner to U.S. Senator Chuck Schumer joined Mayor Lovely Warren for the first fill ceremony on the loop Monday morning. The project will tear out the sunken expressway part of the loop and replace it with a new boulevard where Union Street now runs. Besides the new boulevard, the city gets a 6-acre strip of new land that will be the site of new residential and mixed-use development. The city has long wanted to get rid of what it considers to be a moat dividing the East End. Senator Schumer called it a Berlin Wall, holding back downtown development. And while in Rochester, Senator Schumer paid a visit to the University of Rochester where he urged the Senate to pass bipartisan legislation he says will help understand and prevent sudden infant death. At the Saunders Medical Research Building, Schumer said current reporting standards aren't good enough and leave grieving parents without answers. He says they also don't help medical researchers who are studying the causes of sudden unexplained infant and child deaths. There are more than 4,600 such cases nationwide every year. Your next CNC podcast is whenever you click on one of these pages and catch one, and we post updates as necessary. I'm Bud Lowell, CNC News.